love the channel and find it useful in becoming a happy retiree. Subscribe today. Good morning. Welcome back to Money Matters. We go back to the phones here. Edward joins us from Lawrenceville. Edward, how can we help? What's going on?
Yeah, I had a question about my 401k and whether I should keep contributing to it.
How much do you how old are you and how much do you have in there already, Edward?
I'm 48. I got 1.3 million in there.
So you've been really diligent about doing this. We probably started in your 20s, and this thing has really grown.
25, and it's been historical rate the company's about 13% historical rate.
And what is it all? Whoa! Is it all in a company stock, or has it been just invested in stocks for the most part in different mutual funds?
It's in a about 65% of it's in the company stock, and then the rest.
Oh, so you've had a really good run with your company stock.
Yes.
Got it. And you've got again a big. So more than half of the 401k is in the stock.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, so is your question should you diversify the stock, or is your question about should you keep adding to the 401k?
Should I keep contributing to the 401k?
Ooh, for a lot of reasons, the answer is yes. But on the other side of this, there is when you get to retirement, you don't want to get stuck with just IRA type money, 401k money, because it's going to impact your tax bracket at some point. So you're in your later 40s, so you're still a ways away from retirement, typical retirement age, but you saved a bunch of money, $1 million plus in the 401k. What is a little bit interesting when you mentioned that, hey, you've got 65% of that in a company stock. I'm not going to put you on the spot and say what company is it. I would suspect, just correct me if I'm wrong on this, it's a Fortune 50 big company, Atlanta type company?
Yes.
Which, as a listener, if you're listening and you're thinking you're trying to guess where Edward's working, of course, there's about a half a dozen giant global headquarters right here in Atlanta. So the usual suspects, whether it's Coke or Home Depot or UPS, doesn't really matter. What matters here is it's a Fortune 50 company, which gives you some cover on worrying about your company stock cratering and you now wiping away a huge amount of money. So I would be remiss to not at least, I'm sure somebody's told you this or you've heard it 10 times. You don't want to have $1 million plus in one stock. I don't care how good the stock is. I don't care if it's my favorite company on the planet. You don't want 65 to 75% of your net worth in one company, because even the very best companies can run into major trouble, and even the very best companies can fall far from grace. And your duty as an investor is to make sure that's at least diversified at some point. It's not an emergency fire drill where on Monday morning you got to call them up and say, hey, take me down to 10% tomorrow. But I think that you just need to be cognizant of that over time. That number, that percentage allocation to just one company, that's got to come way down, Edward. And I just want to make sure, I'd be remiss if I didn't bring that up.
The 50%?
No, I would go, no. The most you really want over time exposure to one company is about 10, 15%. That's about as much as you really want. And so just remember that. It doesn't need to be done in one big swoop, but just remember as you go forward, you really need to be careful. The worst case scenario, and we saw this happen a ton in 1999, 2000, and in 07, 08, not that long ago, a lot of big companies' retirements were just wiped out because we went through a financial crisis, and banking companies, investment companies, insurance companies, many of them some of them went to zero. People lost millions and millions of dollars, and some of them went down by 70, 80%. And in some of the best case scenarios, they went down 50 or 60%. Now, when you're young, and we've had this great market run since then, you would have come back and you would have rebuilt a lot of that wealth. You just want to be very careful, particularly when you get into your 50s and later 50s, you get closer to retirement age. You have to get the diversification. So that's you didn't really call about that, but since we're talking, that's important. The second piece of this is, do you keep contributing to this? because you're probably saying to yourself, well, I've already got a bunch. I've got this 1.3 million. That should double over the next 10 years. So it should be 2.6 million by the time you're 58. So why don't I need to contribute anymore, right? The answer here is that, one, there's very few things from a tax savings perspective that are better than the plan that you have at work. You can do $18,500 a year right now. It comes off the top pre-tax, so the government doesn't get any of it right now, and you lower your overall effective tax rate by $18,500. In 2 years, that number goes up even higher. You can do $24,500 when you're age 50 or beyond. And again, that starts to be a pretty big chunk of tax savings in order to do so. The other thought here is that as the market cycles, and by the time you retire in, let's call it 12 years, you get to 60, we will very likely have a whole nother market cycle, meaning a whole nother downdraft and a whole nother up cycle, all before you get to age 60. And the reason that that's important is that if you are continually contributing to the 401k and you're plugging away $24,500 a year, when we're in a down cycle, then you're doing what you're supposed to be doing with dollar cost averaging, and you're buying in at lower and lower prices as the market cycles down, only to have more shares when it finally comes back up. And those would be the two pieces that I would stress, is that you've got to get some diversification at some point. Sooner than later is better. 2, keep doing the pre-tax contributions because of taxes. 3, keep doing the contributions because of dollar cost averaging. And 4, or final, 3 things plus, when you get into retirement, you are right to think, hey, I don't want all my money in this retirement plan, because every time I need a nickel, it's going to come out of this, what is either a 401k or gets rolled into an IRA, and then you're taxed on that. And then when you get to be 70 and a half, the government forces you to take money out to the tune of about 4.2% a year. So now, if you've got a $2 million IRA, you're forced to take 85 grand out every year, no matter what. And then that becomes your new adjusted gross income, at least that at minimum, plus Social Security, plus if you have a pension. So the reason you don't want everything in the 401k now, and you want to really start stressing now some of this after-tax money savings. So just in a regular brokerage account, at Schwab, Fidelity, Vanguard, doesn't matter where it is, but you do really want to start stressing and emphasizing some after-tax savings, because you want to have some balance when you get to 60, 65 and you stop working, because you need, if you have a let's say $2.5 million in your IRA, you want to have at least $250,000 or $500,000 in your non-IRA so that you can pull money out when you have big expenses. Air conditioner breaks, new roof is, let's say it's $20,000. You don't want to have to pull 30 out of your IRA, pay taxes to get down to 20, and then increase your overall tax bracket. So you're right to think, hey, I don't want everything in this after-tax amount. So if you have the capacity to do the 18.5 today, but also another 5 or 10 in a brokerage account, then that's your best case scenario here, Edward.
Okay. All right, sounds good.
So it's a lot. It's a lot in one call. It's a lot in one call. I didn't think you thought we'd go do so much in one call, but you know what? It's Sunday morning and we're on a roll. And thanks for listening to Money Matters and WSB, man. Hopefully that was helpful.
Thank you for your help.
All right, man. Hi, I'm Wes Moss, and thanks for taking a minute to hear about what's so different about my new book, You Can Retire Sooner Than You Think. So unlike other retirement books, this book will give you a step-by-step guide, whether you're in your 20s or 30s or 40s or 50s, to learn from what these successful and happy retirees did to get there. I hope you enjoy the book, but more importantly, I know that it'll help you retire sooner than you think.